Imagine mobilizing for a war, but only arming a handful of soldiers. It's a doomed strategy, but that's exactly what the world is doing right now. Private companies have been leading the global vaccine research. Pfizer, Moderna, Johnson & Johnson, these were all developed by Big Pharma. Now, they alone know how to make these jabs. But here's the thing you need to know about Big Pharma. They're not guardian angels, they're mercenaries. This is an industry that is singularly focused on one thing: profits. They sell life-saving drugs for a profit. They perform life-saving surgeries for a profit. So it comes as no surprise that pharma is among the most hated industries in the world, and frankly, they deserve it right now. For decades, Big Pharma has spun money out of health crises. They do this using patents. Think of it as a glorified way of calling dibs. You have a patent for something, only you can produce or use it. If someone else does, you can sue them. The whole idea behind patents is to protect ingenuity, but it has been misused by pharma companies. They have locked up formulas of life-saving drugs and created a profit-churning monopoly. Let me show you some examples. Humira is a drug prescribed for arthritis. It is among the most popular ones in the market. There are 132 patents protecting the makers, which means this drug is a guaranteed monopoly for at least 39 years. Then we have Lantus, a long-acting insulin used in type 1 and type 2 diabetes. Again, extremely popular in the market. There are 49 patents protecting Lantus for a period of 37 years. And both these medicines can save lives, but there's a monopoly on both of them, which means two things: higher prices and lower output. It's an unfair system. And today, it is a good day to talk about it. It's World Intellectual Property Day, a day that is supposed to create awareness on patents and trademarks and copyrights to celebrate the innovation of creators. But looking at how patents are being misused, what exactly are we celebrating? This World IPR Day, it makes more sense to criticize patents and celebrate them. They have put a price tag on human lives, and they continue to do so during this pandemic. Right from the start, patents have complicated our pandemic response. Think back to the mask shortage in 2020. Why do you think that was? Because American multinational company 3M had a patent on N95 masks. So new firms could not start producing immediately. It was the same for testing. Companies patented rapid testing kits. So there was no scope for mass production. Now with vaccines, nothing has changed. The formulas are still locked away. Only a handful of companies have successfully developed vaccines across the world. Imagine if they shared their designs with the world. We could end the pandemic in weeks. But that would mean sacrificing profits. So what's the solution here? How can we sidestep patents? One option is to pool them. The World Health Organization is using this method for HIV and tuberculosis. Here's how it works. Multiple patent holders come together and form a consortium. Within this consortium, they will share patents. So now there are more producers for each medicine. You could say a patent pool is one step below open source. Another option is to do away with intellectual property rights in pharma. And this might sound impossible, but it isn't. There's a real-life example for it. The WHO's Global Influenza Surveillance and Response System. Their scientists meet every 2 years. They update each other on the developing strains. They finalize a vaccine design. The jabs are then produced in government-funded labs around the world. The bottom line is there are no private players. And this could become the future of public health. But knowing Big Pharma, they will fight back, which is where governments come in. You see, no monopoly can thrive without the state's ignorance. International law puts public health over patents. So technically, governments can force pharma companies to share their designs. But they still haven't done it. Instead, what they have done is hoard vaccines. Now, the arithmetic of vaccination is pretty simple: 2 shots per person. It should not be very tough to calculate how many shots you would need for a population. But the United States and Europe are on a buying spree, around 16% of the world population. And they've bought more than half the output. And they are just sitting on that stockpile. The US has ordered around 40 million doses of AstraZeneca's vaccine. They do not need these jabs. 40 million. Once the next shipment of Pfizer and Moderna arrive, the US will have enough shots to inoculate every adult thrice. This is a classic case of hoarding. And we often say that monopolies and hoarding kill competition, that it's not good economics. But here, it is literally killing people. So this World IPR Day, let's bring back the original motto of patents: to enrich human lives, to further human capacity. And if Big Pharma does not relent, it's time for governments to put the foot down. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.